nurses. They were
like
like a
okay,
contract.
yeah. You like okay, cool, whatever. Take his first pictures, and then all of a sudden, like one picture turned into like a full-fledged photo shoot. Like she kept moving them. Okay, we want to do this. Dad, put your. And then I'm starting to get upset because I'm like, I don't want to do all this stuff. Like
it was just a bad time. Like he was fussy. He was trying to eat. He was tired. He was just trying to get to sleep, and so it's like they came at a bad time and the baby kept crying, and they're like steadily trying to take these pictures. Pose.
And then after that, they're gonna say, "Well, here are the prices." Like, man, like really, hey, get out of here, man. Ain't nobody trying to pay all that high prices for some photos y'all just snap together and put on the little program that already puts it to. Man, get out of here with that, man. Nah.
I think some people would appreciate them, but in our anyways, it was something that we didn't need to do. But aside from that, everything else went good. We were breastfeeding pretty good, and that pretty much wraps it up. My family all got there that same night he was born and got to see him. And
yeah, the first day after he was born, it was crazy. Like for next days, I mean, crying and sleep was all off. It was tough, but it turned out great. He's a month old today. Yesterday. I'm sorry. You ain't got to put me on the spot like that. He's a month old. He's a month old yesterday, and little Bobby is doing just fine. No, thank God.
His name is not Bobby.
Little Bobby.
But anyways, back to the placenta. So we were researching. We had it home with us in the freezer, and we were getting ready to get it together to go ahead and encapsulate it. It's just the reason why I wanted to do it. It just shows a lot of benefits for postpartum depression and just getting a lot of extra nutrients that you need, after having a baby. And baby takes a lot of your vitamins and nutrients from you. And then I was talking to my dad about it. I told him I needed to borrow his dehydrator that he used for beef jerky. And my dad looked at me and he said, I don't think you should be telling a lot of people about this. After he hears this podcast, he's really going to be like, I told you not to tell anybody.
About the placenta?
Yeah, but he did say, all the animals eat their placenta after they give birth. And I'm thinking, see, it's got to be something in it that even the animals know to consume it.
Yeah, and I would go a step further just, with the postpartum thing. Like, a lot of people, I wouldn't say sensitive to the situation, but it's one of those things where you could say, oh, man, get out of here. That's a mind thing. Get over it. Suck it up and be a parent. You know what I'm saying? Like, but actually being there, seeing how he was the first week, seeing how drained you was, seeing how like constantly just milk and I mean, it was just like sucking life out of you. It seemed like tired and all through the night. I fully understood like how those situations could come about, how a mother could get like completely drained and completely stressed out, especially if she don't have help. Like, what I'm saying, somebody there or a close family member there to help out. So I would really suggest for future moms that's finna give birth to keep their placenta and look into encapsulating it.
So we were getting ready to do all the steps, and I pulled it up again, and I happened to come across this article that said if you were to have a certain type of infection during your pregnancy that you need to do extra steps to take care of the placenta because there is a high risk that you could just be putting the infection back into your body. And I happened to have that infection, and I was not able to get the antibiotics through pregnancy because it happened so fast. We got to the hospital, so it's like strep B infection, and my midwife said, don't worry about it. A lot of people have it. It'll be fine. You just get antibiotics during labor. So after reading everything, all the extra steps, about cleansing it and still, there's still a possibility that you could be consuming it, I didn't want to take the risk. So we got rid of the placenta, and, I wasn't able to do that, but, I mean, that it worked out good still.
So I ended up throwing the placenta in the trash, in the dumpster. at our apartment. So like
All
that's
those
where
great
that's
nutrients.
yeah, that's weird to say. Your placenta was in a garbage can at the apartment complex.
Yeah, I say after he was a week old, Sean had to go have an arm surgery, and he couldn't help out as much because he could only use one hand. Like, he had carpal tunnel release, and I was having problems nursing. Like, it was hurting really, really bad, and it just felt off. And I will say, that's whenever I did start having a little bit of postpartum set in. I was losing so much sleep. Sean couldn't help. And, I would just be crying. And I know Sean didn't understand it. And I thought, the only thing I know to do is just start juicing. Just get these extra nutrients in me. And we juiced for a couple days, and I felt a whole lot better. And that's a whole other podcast about the health. But
yeah, definitely.
It's just, you got to be aware. Like, you have to realize how much nutrients, it takes out of you. You got to make sure you're putting it back in you. But that pretty much sums up the birth story
of young Royce Andrew King McGee. He loves that nickname. I don't know why I call him Bobby. I don't know. I can't figure it out. I need to stop before it becomes a habit and he really thinks his name is Bobby. Like, that's one of the worst names to have. But this is life, music, and everything else. This is a life story, birth story of my son. I'm very happy, very proud to be there, to be able to see him. I want to give a big shout out to my wife, Special, for holding it down 9 months, popping them out. I want to give a big shout out to the siblings, Jada, Juju, Nas. I want to give a huge shout out to the midwife. Thank you so much for all your help and your doctor's notes to keep me off of work. That was great. Also, I want to give a shout out to the hospital, Hillcrest, the doctors up there, the wonderful nurses and staff that actually gave birth to my son. So I want to give a big shout out to you guys. Were awesome. I want to give a shout out to the lactation nurse. Is that right? Lactation nurse. I'm sorry. But she helped out because you were bugging out over not being able to get them on latched on. So I want to give a big shout out to her. I want to give a huge shout out to my daughter's stepdad, Steven. Thanks so much for being there to get our daughter, boom, on time, so I was able to see my son. Big shout out to Yaya. Big shout out to
mom,
Pappy.
Sure,
all of them for coming up. Kristen for coming in. Like, she's a nurse, so when she comes into a hospital, she automatically takes this nurse mode. So it was good to see that. Anybody I miss?
I just want to emphasize my mom. If it wasn't for you, Mom, I know I wouldn't have even considered this all natural thing. I didn't appreciate it growing up, but all the natural ways you've showed me, and not turning to medication and making sure you stay on your fruits and veggies, and it's greatly appreciated.
Yeah, and all the women out there that's looking into doing it, you can do it. Like, this is what you were made to do. You can do it. Before all this other stuff came to alternate and change, you can do it. Like, it's a wonderful thing. And just to see how it happens, I never underestimate the strength of a woman again. This is something that you guys can do. So all the birth moms out there, the birth groups, birth moms, all you guys, big shout out.
Yes. If you're thinking about this, I highly suggest get on Netflix and watch The Business of Being Born. It gives you a rundown of the brief birth history in the U.S., how high the C-section rates are, how high the induction rates are, and also linked those to the actual problems. The U.S. has one of the highest mother mortality rates in what am I trying to say? It has one of the highest mother mortality rates in the developed countries. So really look into that. Like, there's a lot more to it than just wanting to have a natural birth. I mean, and you guys can do it. Like Sean said, we were made to do this. Our bodies take over, and it makes a beautiful story. And I mean, it's a good feeling.
And the husbands out there that's holding it down, big shout out to y'all, man. We play our parts, and we right there to get the in-ground scoop. Boom, throw it out at home. We right there. You know what I mean? I was in the all-natural birth class on the first day of the playoffs. you want to talk about some compromising. You know, the first day of the NBA playoffs, I'm in an all natural birth class. But this is what it's about. I want to send a big shout out to my family. I love y'all. This is Life, Music, and Everything Else podcast. I'm Sean. You can subscribe on YouTube, subscribe on iTunes, SoundCloud as well. Life, Music, and Everything Else. Thanks so much for those who made it to the end. Birth moms, y'all can do it. Hold it down. And God bless y'all.